Righto, welcome everyone. Surprised to see so many people so quickly here, but anyway, welcome. Um, just after 1 in the afternoon here, well, 1:30 now. Hello, Mr. Neil, welcome. Um, right, so this flight actually came into being because of a discussion on Discord. All right, we were talking about VNAV. And I thought, you know what? I didn't fly this morning because I was away off writing my exams, but I'm back. And instead of going and, I don't know, watching YouTube videos, I might as well make one, you know? So here we are. And I'm going to basically, I'm going to do it the old way, you know, just having fun. Talking a little bit more, I'll show you a couple of things and then see what happens, because at the end of the day, that's the whole reason for the flight, is to see what VNAV does, because the complaint is the top of descent is too late. Okay, so I want to see for myself if there's a tweak or a change required in the Zibo, then I can speak to Zibo. You can fix it. If not, then hopefully we can, you know, give some training. I don't know. We'll see. Either or. We're going to take it as it comes. Hello, Flysim. Why you delete your comment there? Just as I was trying to read it. You guys mustn't be shy to chat with me. I'm not going to bite your head off because of anything, unless you're a spammer, you know? How's it, Flyson? Yeah. If God is willing, and I feel really good and confident about this exam. This was the last one. Okay, so as of today, I'm kind of free. So unless I actually get a job on a Saturday, I'll be free again and we can do some streaming and stuff. Okay, I hope everything works out that way. Okay, you see, I was still reading it, Flysum. I didn't notice. Thank you. Yes, I think it went okay. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pass. So then that's it. You know, end of that story, and the end of that chapter, and then we can focus a little bit on the Zibo again. You know, on the weekends. All right. Okay. It is pitch dark. Sorry, you guys are watching at the black screen. It's not because there's nothing happening. We're in Fairbanks. Okay. So real time. I have no idea what the time is. 3:34 local. Okay. So yeah, it is supposed to be dark. I checked the weather. It looks filthy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the winter ops checklist just to make sure we don't fall out the sky here. Okay, so Flysim, pay attention to icing and stuff stories here I'm getting. Yeah, there's no snow that I can see here, but the visibility is only a quarter statute mile, and it seems to have fog here at a very low altitude. Temperature is only 1, altimeter 2967, so it's very low. Yeah, visibility is 3/4, man. It's one of those flights in the real world. I would think twice to do it, but we're gonna do it now, you know. So let's quickly look at the situation with the flight planning. I think that's a good place to start. Okay, so guys, this is not just entertainment. It's me relaxing. It's you watching. You come and go as you please. You know, I'm gonna just do my thing, and hopefully, you know, it's not too boring. Okay, so let's quickly get Navigraph on here. Ooh, that alignment's terrible. Why? Let me just fix the alignment quickly. Oh. Yeah, I move these things every now and then. I have to put them back. Okay, so my first comment on this flight is there is no real 737-800. In fact, there is no real commercial flight of any nature between this airport pair. So we're talking Fairbanks and Whitehorse. Okay, the only thing that exists is that waypoint over there. All right, so thank goodness we've got a SID that comes to it, and then we've got the actual, there is no arrival yet. This is just the actual RNAV finals, basically. Okay, and then we've got an entry point over there. So all I did was basically just, run the SID, get to the waypoint, and then that purple section is made up because there's nothing else you can do. Okay. And then from PENLU down, that's your RNAV approach. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to note. And I think it's important because when you go and you create your own flight routes, I'm not sure how the automation handles it. And if you don't pay much attention to it, I can understand why it doesn't work the way you think it should work, because it's literally, sucked out of your thumb. Right. So anyway, that is where we are at. We're going to use runway 20 right, and we're going to use 14 right on the approach. Okay. And that's it. That's it. That's just the weather quickly again. You can see it's nice and yucky. Misty conditions. See, that is a bit of a challenge. We'll see what we can do. You know what I might want to do? This is a tip for you guys. Let's look at the approach, and we said we're taking 20 right. Can you believe it? I can't remember. 20 right, yeah. Let's look at the approach for 20 right. If there is an ILS, yeah, there is. So I'm going to pin that one. What we're going to do for takeoff is we will then utilize the localizer to help us keep on track, on the runway, just in case the mist is so bad that we can't really see the lights. Okay, so we'll configure that one. Okay. Other than that, not much to worry about. Okay. I just parked here by the cargo apron just to be close to 20 right. I don't want to go and taxi all the way. I'm lazy. No problem, Neil. No problem. No, we don't use FS Cloud. Long time no more. We switched over to Iveo, and we're happy with Iveo. And FlySim, I've got 5 monitors, 5 screens here on my system. So let's hide that. All right. This is still the test model. I'm going to talk you through some of the things me and Twkster have discussed again, just to bring you guys up to speed. I have not spoken to him again since our last, I spoke to him the day after our last stream. So I'm not sure what he's changed and all, but he's given me an instruction to follow. So I'm going to talk you guys through that, and let's just get some, we don't need that, get some life into the aircraft. No, winter is done in the southern hemisphere. Although I must tell you one thing, it is actually chilly. Yeah, where I'm sitting now, I went to get my long sweatpants because the shorts was just didn't do it for me. It's too cold for that. We've got very grey, rainy conditions, and that obviously makes it cold. Yeah, where I'm at. I suppose cold is relative, but for me it's cold. Yeah, oh, that light is bright. Is that right? So let's have a look. See the OFB. Where is that? Oh, there. Made it too big. Trying to zoom to an acceptable level so I can read it proper. Yeah, well, fly sim, I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook. The guys basically made a joke of it, you know, because in the morning you start off with winter, you get spring by about 9 to 10 a.m. and then it's summer until about 4 p.m. Then it's autumn, and then after 6 it's winter again. It's funny, but that's how it is. Right, we want to be at 350, and our landing altitude is quite high today. 1,300. 300. Flight is on. Yeah. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our uplink stuff, and we're going to activate airside services, and we're going to, no, that's terrible, Neil. We're going to let it run, and then we're going to manually move the CG. Right, so I'm not aware of what Tim and Lubos might have spoken about yet. We'll find out soon enough, but I'll talk you through what I know already. Let's get our ambiance correct here, make it nice and romantic for everybody. Why not? With the flood, that's fine. Right, so while we are here, we said we're going to connect the ILS for the runway here, just for our safety. So let us go down to the ILS 1103. 1103.
Ground flight deck host is connected and starting refueling.
03. One was 03. 0. Right. And the current VOR, just for our information, is 10860. 0860. I had a 2070 Super, NVidia 2070 Super. And then when X-Plane 12 came, I upgraded my PC and I got an AMD RTX 6070, 80 something, or 670, something like that, XT. And it was good until Laminar broke the AMD support to an extent where it drove me insane. And then thank goodness for the viewers and everybody else that helped me to get the 5070. Right, so we have that. We have everything in place. By the way, Linda's not with me because of the test model. We don't want any interference. So we're not going to have her by my side. Up light on a bit. I haven't turned that knob in a while. Right, a route. Let's pull that in. Right. Setting those switches. They can come in.
Ground flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Captain, we are starting boarding now. Please, make sure the cabin is conditioned.
Okay, so we'll condition the cabin for you. Right, my departure is correct. Right, that's correct. Arrival, there is no arrival, and we said we are taking 14 right. RNAV Zulu, 14 right. PENLU. That's one. X. straightforward. Nothing funny. Root. Perf copy. Right. And there's something I want to discuss with you also, just an FYI. And in fact, I think we can actually use that as a quick test, just because I haven't used it in many months. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and then we all find out together. Hello, Rob. Welcome. Right. So we want PAFA, and we've got what? 2967. 67. Right. Let's get the CP set over here. And our localizer is 203. Hi. So we're just going to guess a value there. We'll change that just now. Back. Right, okay. Load. Have a look, see. Our reserves is 3,000. Right. My 2070 Super is lying in my one drawer here. I haven't sold it yet. Why? You want to buy it? You're welcome. Right, okay. On the forum, this is my bad. I do apologize, and I can't remember who made the post, so please don't take it personally if it sounds weird. I'm not meaning it badly. I completely forgot about this, right? So the post was made because of this. See that CG? As we are still loading, all right, that CG will keep on changing until we finished loading. Okay, so it's on 27 now. I'm going to give it a minute. We'll click it again. You see, it is changing because as the people come on board and they take their seat, the CG of the aircraft will change. That's just natural. That's a natural thing. It happens, right? So if you go and you set your speeds and everything now, all right, your CG is not supposed to affect your speeds. Okay. We're going to test the theory if it does or not, okay? But you see, every now and then, you see, as I'm clicking it and the people are still boarding, that thing changes. So if you change this thing incorrectly at the wrong time, your trim is going to be out for your takeoff. All right, we don't want that. So here's something to check. If you use planned fuel, you should be closer, if not almost 100% correct. So if you go to your OFP and we look at what the planned fuel is, the planned fuel there is 7.2. All right. In fact, that is actually, I'm going to see. Yeah, that's your block fuel, 7.2.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check.
You see, now she's already done it. The test can't really happen now. But if you put 7.2 in there and you go execute.
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
All right, your CG and stuff should be more closer to the final weights, obviously the passengers is going to still come in and they're going to go and sit and put themselves in different positions. All right, so just delete this. Anyway, what I'm getting at is if you don't want to wait all the time to get a reasonable, and this is not perfect, this is just a reasonable trim. What you can do is you can then obviously go and you can add your plan fuel. But if you add the plan fuel there, you need to remember when everything is said and done, you need to come and delete it again, because otherwise you will have no fuel usage. The complete and utter fuel calculation in the FMC will be screwed if you leave that in there, because it won't see the usage, and then you're going to have other problems. But that's one way of actually getting to your CG a little bit quicker. Okay, so you need to obviously understand what you're doing, because as I say, it's going to be close, but no cigar, because the packs are still coming in. They're going to change it slightly. So it might not be much, but there will be a slight thing, but it's going to get you closer. Anyway, I think that's about the summary. So remember that. That's one of the things that you can do to get to this quicker. There's no point in this thing getting populated, because that's not realistic. We can't make the code, or Zibo shouldn't make the code to populate this thing before the load is complete, because then it's just not realistic. Okay. All right. Yeah, fly sim. You're right. Anyway, okay. So I want to quickly hide this thing again. And if you guys can't see anything because I'm getting carried away here, you must just quickly shout and tell me to move the screen or move something. All right. So we've got 149 over there, but look at the trim. It's very far forward. So what we want to do, I talk too much. It's 149. Okay, so here comes the thing that Twkster wants me to do now. We fully load it. We're going to go here. And now we're going to go and look at our actual loading. So what he wants me to do is he wants me to do the test flight with a takeoff Mach percentage of 19. All right, so we need to drop that, which means that we need to move cargo forward. Okay, so I'm too tired to worry about doing this out of my thoughts. I'm going to use a calculator. Let's do this. I'm going to say 650 kilograms. All right, so it's 1338 plus 650. That's 1998. And that one must then drop, so it's 2514 minus 650. 1864. 1864. Let's go have a look, see. Right, so now we're at 25%. So we still need to come down a bit. So 1988. Plus, let's make it another 650. Why not? Go for gold, huh? Let's do 638. 64. 650. 1, 2, 1. Let's go check again. Okay, we're getting closer. Yeah, I'm doing 62 FPS right now, as you can see there. Up and down, up and down. I must say that one and the actual one I'm looking at in Explain is a little bit out of sync, but it's okay. Right, so we want to go down a little bit more. 2638. Let's make it 400. But if we're going to get there, 3038, because I think we're getting close to the limits. We'll see. So 1, 2, 4, minus 400. All right, we're at 19.7. We're going to try maybe our luck, just push another 100 maybe. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. That's close enough. Okay. So Twkster, I hope that's good enough for you. So that'll be the takeoff Mac. Now, if we go back here and we do this again, look at that, where the trim is now. See, CG's changed, trim has changed. That's a significant change. Now I'm guessing, I think that's about right. Okay, so we're going to do the actual test flight then with the new CG. Okay. Sure. Well, that gives us a whole bunch of space at the front and at the back, eh? So as the fuel burns and the CG changes, it should be okay. All right, let's start the APU while we're busy with the rest of the setup. Okay, so because I've never even bothered to go look outside, I'm going to see if I need the truck. I don't think I need the truck. We can just go forward, turn right, get on the taxiway, something like that. Okay. Rob, Twkster and Zibo have all the tables and the FCOMs and everything else they need to know what it is. I'm not really concerned whether 5.75 is real world related. For me, the test that I need to do for Tim is flight model related. Okay, so he wants to see the difference when we have a CG of 19 compared to a CG of whatever it was. You understand? So me personally, from my old knowledge, I would say anywhere from 525, no, let me rephrase that. 475 up to 5.5 is usually normal, where 5 is your neutral, right? So 475 up to 5.5 for me is a feel-good number, just from past experience. But those guys have got the correct numbers, and they'll figure it out how to make it match. Right, guess what? Hello, Jacob. Yeah, but my gross weight is not that. My gross weight is something else. Let's actually have a look. See. Blah, blah, blah. 68.1. So, yeah. Like I said, Tim and Zibo will figure out the trim and all the other stories, all right? Because they need to balance everything. And this is what Twkster keeps on telling us. It's not so easy to just change one parameter because it will snowball. It will have an effect on something else. You know, so Jacob, remember, these guys are building the Zibomod according to Boeing numbers. So whatever the Boeing number is, they've got it. You know, it's not like they don't know what they're doing. Just FYI. Anyway, let's get going because you won't believe what happened. My air crew, what do we call them? My chief stewardess, whatever you call these ladies. My one just brought me my lunch, so I don't want it to get cold. I need to get in the air so I can have it. Right, so let's get this thing started. Let's do our thingamaring. What did I do wrong? Oh yes, of course, you idiot. Dummy, dumb. Jacob, just remember, if you want to use curves, you need to use the yoke advanced setting must be off. If you want to use yoke advanced setting on, you can't put your own curves, eh? Then it needs to be linear.
Captain, passengers are asking for a cozier temperature.
Sky Active Media, good afternoon. Question. Slow down. Slow down and use the correct controls. Remember, I've got a tiller on my Bravo throttle quadrant. One of the levers I've turned into a tiller, right? So I control from here. If you have pedals, you need to have your settings set to yaw. So that one will be settings roll. The pedals is for yaw. And then if you don't use it correctly, what happens is the Boeing by design only allows like a 3-degree turn. So if you don't have it in the correct setting, or you're at the wrong speed, you're not going to get your proper turn. So you just have to work through that. Yeah, but if you don't have a tiller set up, then like I said, make sure it's on yaw, right? And then make sure that you do it slowly. Don't drive too fast. No, it's much less than that. Much less than 7 degrees. Unless I'm mistaken, but I think it's about 3. It's very, very shallow. You can hardly turn with it. Yeah, well, let's see. Oh, didn't do the pedals. That was the one I still needed to do. Okay. All right. No. I don't mind being wrong. If you've got the numbers there, you're probably right. I just know it's very, very limited. It's frustrating if you don't have the correct settings there. Matt, the CG changed, okay? So the airfoils didn't change, but because the CG changed, then the characteristics of the flight model changes, right? Okay, let's see. So taxi lights on, all of these things are done. All right, let's get to that checklist. Right, so we said it's 2 degrees. So between 1 and 10, we need the anti-ice for the wing and the engines on when we taxi. And the flaps must be up. So we're not going to change the flaps. We're going to keep them that way. All right, and then we go. No, Matt, they use their own model. They don't use the TIM/Zibo flight model at all. I need to figure out how this taxiway work. You know what? I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to turn here. It looks like icing anyway on the ground here. Right, I better go back to my chart to see where I'm taxiing. It'll be helpful. Listen, when we're in the air, ask me again, then I can show you a list. My hands are full now. You know what? I almost called Linda. See, now I need to do all her job as well. Well, I think we should quickly park here and do our thing, right?
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
Oh yes, because we don't have. Huh? Let's just get our FO on. Right. Transponder goes on. See the weather. So it's fine. All of these things are fine. Right now, what does that checklist say? Nothing else. Now we can set our flaps. Right, and the nice thing about the Boeing is we're not going to switch off the wing anti-ice. When it gets fast enough on the run down that runway, it will switch it off for us. Easy as that. Right, there we go. Thanks, Rob. And that should be it. That should be it. And we have got flaps 5, clean line. Let's go.
Approaching 20 right.
But then, like we said, we're going to use the localizer if we lose visibility. So there you can see it's nicely set up. Because we tuned that ILS, right? So that is done. A bit skewed, but we'll get ourselves sorted just now. There we go. Okay, the elevator was not as sharp as it was. It's much better, more handleable. That is for cockpit builders, Flysim. Gives you the instruments externally through Java. Right, as I said, wing anti-ice has gone off. I'm going to just keep the engine anti-ice on slightly longer, make sure that we're okay, and then don't worry about that again. That's a good question. Wrong place. Joysticks, control sensitivities. There you go. 0, 0, 0, 0. This is in the install guide as well. It must all be 0. One of the things we did discuss, me and Twkster, was that for one of the tests, I might want to just move it to the right, see how it handles there as well, but for now it's left. You will lose speed when you get ice. So what you need to do is you need to keep your eye on that wing, right? as you can see there now, look, it's white. See, looks white. When you put on your wing anti-ice, and then you go check it until the white goes away. See there? There's the ice is gone. As long as you've got ice on your wing, if that builds up beyond the critical mass, whatever you want to call it, you're going to fall from the sky, because then you become a rock. And you can't fly with it on, right? There are certain parameters. You need to use my training checklist to see the parameters. Right, you can't have it on above a certain temperature, you can't have it on below a certain temperature, you can't have it on above a certain altitude. You can't have it on for extended period of time, because then what happens is the ice forms around it, then it's useless. So you need to literally learn how to use it. You see, there it's back. So we're just going to keep an eye on it, but you can't leave it on. It won't work that way. It doesn't work that way. No, under 18 degrees has got nothing to do with it. It's below 10 and with icing conditions, which means there's precipitation of some sort. I'm not sure about the technical aspects, Jacob, of the components that are in there. I just know if you used it incorrectly, the very thing that's designed to save you will kill you. It's not modeled in the Zibo. I don't know if Zibo is actually planning on doing it, but they look at this this airframe or the frame of the wiper, especially there. That's a good indicator of whether you've got ice or not. That's the one place. And then the other place is you can actually see the wing. Now, you must just get your angle right. Now, in the real aircraft, it's easier than doing it here. So if you get your angle correct, you can actually see it from here. You must just get it correct. It's easier in the real aircraft than it is in the sim. But there, that's usually a good indicator. Yes, Jacob, you're right. You're not wrong. You're right. Yeah, I think it's probably about 4, just after 4 a.m. there in the morning. So I'm not sure when sunrise will be, if we're ever going to see it. But now you need to learn GLS and RNAV, and you need to learn Ian, and you need to learn how all these other things work. I'm going to use RNAV just now, probably with Ian. So there's many ways of doing it, huh? You don't need ILS for everything. No problem, Rob. Enjoy your Saturday. We'll speak later again. Jacob, I'll check for you now. About an hour. Let's just round it off. Yeah, if you've got the right CG, the trim will be less as well, eh? Right, I hope you guys have got something to drink and something to snack on, or some food or something. I just had my lunch, and I tell you what, that was brilliant. Go enjoy, Jacob. It's a bit difficult for me to land with the lower sys showing, Jacob. We'll see if I can manage, otherwise I'm just going to ignore it, okay? Also, remember we're in the test phase. The last 2 times I landed with this actual flight model, I found that the elevator was a little bit too sharp, and then I started pulling the nose instead of just holding it, it was just too sharp. How's it, James? Welcome. Yeah, it's nice to be chilling, eh? I had a bit of a doozy of a time here in the last couple of months, man. It's first Saturday in a long time. I can just relax. That is where XHSI comes in. You see, if you get XHSI, it's also free, but it gives you all the display, well, some of the displays at least. I'm not sure if it's going to show the lowest one, but it could be. That's why the guys use it for the cockpit builders. Well, it used to be called XHSI, now it's ZHSI. I know. Zibo still calls it XHSI in the EFB.
To go.
So I see we don't have icing conditions right now. We can see the stars. There's some cloud over there. I think we'll be okay for now. Here we have 50 coming up now.
Seatbelt sign is off. Please only move around the cabin when that sign is off. And anytime you're in your seat, I do request your seatbelt fastened about you regardless of the seatbelt sign. Moving up cabin a little closer. Meanwhile, please sit back, relax, enjoy the trip with us.
So for this test, I've just updated the cost index a little bit. I want to make it a little bit more than the normal 20 I fly. So I fly either 20 or 50. The query came in at 53. So now I'm actually pushing it a little bit more just to make sure we give it a good go. All right. 9. 302. All right, okay. Let's see. 226 nautical miles to go. Top 1%. Yeah, but it is dark, eh? We can see nothing. Because of my OCD, Flysim. If I have to watch that ludicrous dancing all the time in front of my eyes, I'm going to punch a hole right through my screen here. It's completely unnecessary because I've got a yoke in front of me on my desk already. So all this unnecessary movement and stuff, nah, don't need it. Right, well, I've just reclined my chair. I've got my one foot up on the desk here beside me. I'm in a totally relaxed mode. If you guys hear me snore, then you're going to get my attention because I can't hear you. But you'll have to come to Discord and tell me, to wake up. I'll try not to really sleep. I'm joking, but you know what I'm saying. It's just a joke. But that's how relaxed I am. I swear, I can literally fall asleep if I wanted to. This is actually a nice flight so far. Very uneventful, just doing our thing. Yeah, flight sim. I think it's just, look, I know it's just the animation, but I think it's been overdone a little, and it might be better in the default 737. But for me in the Zibo, it's not necessary. If I want to see whether I'm rocking and rolling, I look at my flight director. That tells me my yaw, and this tells me my roll. And that's all I need to know, whether we're doing it in a symphony or not. You know, if it's part of a chorus going. One thing I do find interesting is that the barometric pressure seems to be fairly stable. You know, if you watch the actual altitude reading in the past, I'm hoping it's the past that it's been fixed. Man, I tell you what, that thing can jump up and down by 1,000 foot or more in an instant. So I'm really glad it looks a little bit more stable. Looks more realistic now. Yeah. You're right,
Hello.
Vice. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I just hopped onto the server.
No problem.
Just need to change my names here. Is it, I don't know, is it okay to talk because you're live?
Yeah, you're welcome, as long as it's decent and we don't get thrown off YouTube and things like that. You're welcome to chat.
Oh, that's lovely. So, yeah, the thing is, I just joined the Discord server because I have a problem with the Zibomod, and I'm wondering if this is known or what the actual issue is. The thing is, everything on my throttle quadrant, like in the sim, is not reacting anymore. So I can't set the parking brake anymore, I can't move flaps or speed brake with the mouse, I cannot open or cut off the throttle. It's just like it's frozen. It's working with the key bindings, but everything else is frozen.
Okay. Could be a couple of things. Let's start with basics. It could be related to the settings in the EFB for the virtual reality guys. There's a whole set of settings in the EFB where the click spots are actually switched off, because the guys flying in virtual reality says that every time they move their controller over it, it reacts, and they didn't want that. So you're going to have to check that. That's the most likely thing I think that's happened on your side, is that has been enabled for some reason.
Let me see if I can find it. So every other click spot is working though, like with the autopilot and stuff.
Yeah. Let me show you. Have a look at my screen. Can you just...
Okay, Yep.
I think it's... I must just find it now. Visual effects. There you go. Your manipulation switches. Yeah, for all the things. You see here?
Yeah. Wait 1 second. Oh, yeah. See, it's all set to hide.
Yeah, exactly. It's for the VR guys. So you must just work through them. You know, see which ones are affecting. That's the most likely thing I can think of what the problem is. If you had a physical controller that's not responding, it's usually the USB has gone to sleep. You must just unplug it, plug it back in, see if it works.
Yeah, perfect. Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
That's fine. You're welcome.
So you're streaming on YouTube right now?
Yes.
Let me see if I can find your channel.
Just look upstairs, just above us. You'll see stream announcements. Just above our heads here in Discord, stream announcements.
Ah.
Okay, but you can stay here. You can watch live. Remember, there's like an 8 seconds delay between you and me and what we see and do here and what the guys see on YouTube.
Yeah,
so,
that's no problem.
And you'll have to disable the sound on YouTube, because otherwise it's going to echo. You and I say something here and then it's going to come back in a few seconds that side as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Just subscribed also. Of course I did.
Yeah.
So is there also a way to like save configs? Because I know the quick save all configs button, but if I change the aircraft, how would I load them back up? Is there any way?
I don't think that side of things work anymore. It used to work, but I've seen a couple of guys complain that it doesn't. So I haven't tested them. I'll have to test them at some point in time and then run through it with Zibo again. But you're supposed to be able to recover them. I just remember where it is now. Save. There's quick save. Let me set the configs. Oh, there's your presets. Manage aircraft presets there. So, I don't know, my friend. I haven't tried them in a long time. I think this was something that used to work in X-Plane 11. I've never even tried them in X-Plane 12 yet. And it's years later. So, I must actually go and play around with it myself, see. But you should be able to. One of the problems we do have at this point in time is the safe flight situation doesn't work, and Zibo said he'll look at it when he's got time.
Yeah, sure, don't worry. It's not too important though, I was just wondering.
What you could do, depending on how advanced you are with, and how good you are with ITs, you can set the switches and all, then go to output preferences and have a look at those text files. See if they are manipulated and then save them, because it should pick up on the save states and things from those files. The question is just, will the Zibo read them all? See, this is what I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sure.
That's obviously where it gets stored, or supposed to get stored. And some of it is then also stored in your livery folder in the B738 config file there. You'll have to work through all of them and just see where it
Yeah,
saves
sure.
what, and then you can manipulate it in the text.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just joined Explain like 2 days ago, so I'm still finding things out.
Okay. Well, in that case, then I'm going to be an asshole now. I'm going to tell you, please read the Zibo install guide and the EFB guide, because there's just too much that you're going to lose and that you're going to miss if you don't read it.
Yeah, I know. I already read that on
Okay.
the forums.
Even if you hate it with a passion. Oh, there was a guy the other day on the forum. He says he hates these RDFM posts. You know what that stands for? Read the effing manual, you know?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, there's just too much. This is a marvel of technology, and if you don't understand the settings and things like that, this is the quickest way of helping yourself, is just reading those things. And then if you don't know, you come ask. You know, that's just how it is.
Sure.
I don't mind people asking. You know, like I've just helped you now in the middle of the stream and all those things. Anybody on stream can pop in here, come ask the questions. You know, like I said, as long as it's decent and all those things. I don't mind.
I know that, like, you know, I Googled a lot. I have to say I didn't read the manual for this throttle problem I just joined. But I tried to figure out Google and forums and everything, and no one, like, you know, wrote it. So I joined Discord to try to reach an FAQ here, and then I just saw you. So I thought, well, I could search on Discord as well, but why not just ask?
Well, exactly. Look, I mean, the guys here that have been around long enough will tell you, the thing that freaks me out is when I get used and abused. You understand? But asking something, that's free, man. Anybody can ask a question. Anybody can. It's so much easier sometimes, especially in voice. You know, when I have to go and Google something and then retype it for somebody, you know, then I get upset, because by the time I Googled it, they could have Googled it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Matt on stream says you should have used ChatGPT.
Yeah, I already thought about it, but I think that the new Google function uses ChatGPT as well.
Yeah, they use Gemini. Google is Gemini.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, true.
But yeah, look, me and ChatGPT go back a long way, and he knows a lot of my stuff. So if you ever get stuck, I'm surprised sometimes when I ask it things about Zibo, how much it knows about Zibo, you know?
Okay.
So anyway.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Rodrigo, welcome on stream, buddy. Welcome. Right, I've got 94 nautical miles to go for top of descent, so I'm going to start prepping quickly. Let's see what we can do here. So I see actually here we've got WAS, so we might as well use the WAS. So what do you think about AnyBuilds? Matt, I like AnyBuilds, apart from the fact that they don't support Explain the way they used to. Okay, I don't have a problem with them. I feel betrayed because they kind of left us, but hopefully one day they'll come back and help us again. Right, I need to quickly see. Okay, we need to go to LPV. Our code is 80090. That's it, so it's our frequency. Ooh, there's a bit of sun rays coming in on the clouds. They look kind of sunrise. We need to be at 140. Just give me a second. I can see there's text coming through, but I'm not concentrating there. We'll get there. 140. Be back soon to check what that are. Then we need to go down to. Yes, and then let's go over. Let's see the elevation.
So, sorry to interrupt. I just gonna leave Discord again. Thank you so much for the help. I will still watch your stream though, but I need to leave the Discord. Thank you so much for your help.
Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Right, 3,800. It's fine. 7. Oops. Yep. Ow. Wrong button. $9.52. Oh, even less. $9.52. My neck. $9.52. Wow. Right, before I continue, so that I've got next speed. There you go, German Flight Simmer. Welcome. Yeah. Good to know that you're on there too. Right, okay. Then in a forecast request. Load. And we've got -8 and 9.52. Execute. What that is 800 kgs. 64.7. All right, flaps 30 will be VREF 148. So PFD is done. Frequencies, minima, courses. Done. Done, done, done. No icing. Happiness is. Right, so our high CI has pushed the speed up a little bit. And we saw that over here as well. Our target speed in the descent is 0.79, which is high, eh? That's freaking high. Yeah, you guys mustn't talk about pirating and stuff here on my stream, eh? No swapping and nonsense like that. Okay, so coming back to the reason for the stream, and what was said here is that the top of descent comes too late. So we're going to keep an eye on it. And for the record, I am using common VNAV. So the trick is going to be to stay away from VNE. We don't want to get the never exceed speed, and then to keep on the path, and then see how many times we have to pull the speed brake or increase the speed or whatever to keep the path. Hallo Gilbert, goeiemiddag. Lysum, they did come to explain, and they made, I think the DC-6 was the aircraft that they made. But then Microsoft announced the Flight Sim 2020 and they went back. Yeah, my MSFS 2020 and 2024 is getting cobwebs here. I'm not using them at all, Flysum. I have no intention of going back to them anytime soon. And believe it or not, the biggest reason is because of my Bravo throttle quadrant giving me issues. Just one of those things. when that guy that used to be with Honeycomb brings out his new controllers, I'll probably upgrade to get rid of these old Bravo ones, or Alpha and Bravo ones. Get the new stuff. And there we go. There's our top of descent happening. So let's check, see what this thing does. Keep your eye on the speed and on the VNAV path. And remember, I use VNAV common. So if it cannot keep up with the path, the theory says it will make a parallel path. And then it's going to be up to us to either increase our speed to create a greater rate of descent, or to pull the speed brake to induce more drag. Now, because we've got a very high CI, we have to keep our eye on the speed, because we cannot go to VNE. Cannot allow that to happen. And currently, we're falling back on our path. We are busy losing it. So what will happen is now the FMC will build a parallel path, and then it's going to be up to us to chase it. So I'm going to let it just slide a little bit. It gets too close to VNE like it's doing now. I'm going to pull the speed brake, which I just did, because we need to keep it. We need to keep it from getting to VNE. Listen, why don't you give me some money for it? I think that's a fair trade. You give me some money for it and I'll go buy it. How's that? Alright, so in order for us to try catch up with this path, we've had to do a bit of a nosedive here. Yeah. It's coming in nicely now, and then you'll see it's going to lift the nose again. There we go. So now we can stow the speed brake and just keep an eye on it. No way, man. I heard a story that you are filthy stinking rich. What is 7,000 for you? That's nothing, man. Hello, Antonio. How are you? Okay, well, we're on the path, so there's no need to pull the speed brake, and we are not even close to VNE. Our speed looks nice, and now we can just let it go. No, that's not the same thing, because you're going to get the 787 upgrade pack for yourself. In the other instance, you're giving me a new yoke. See, two different things there. One's for yourself, one's for me. Right, so as long as we don't get to VNE, there's no need to pull the speed brake. We're just letting it go. As long as I've got the speed under control when we get to about 10,000, all should be well. That's it. We're on path, and that's what counts. We don't need to worry about the speed. Remember, above 10,000, speed is free. The speed is slowly increasing. Well, keep an eye on it the whole time. There was a path adjustment there. We might have to pull the speed brake. You know what? Let's pull it. There's 18,000, and there we go. See, that also makes a huge difference. Now we're on the QNH 2952. Well, what's it going to be? QNE over here. Anyway, we're braking hard now. And then once we've got the speed under control, so we literally pulled the speed brake twice, then we're fine again. You can see how it's shuddering all over the screen here because of that speed brake. Right, let it just settle, and then we're gonna push it back up. There we go, speed brake back up. Bit of turbulence. Let's see where our CG and trim is at. Trim is a bit back. Hope we don't run out of trim. I'm just showing this for Twkster's benefit them. Hope that helps. Look how nicely the speed is being reduced. Goes up. Still descending. Speed coming down. Beautiful. And all I did was pull the speed brake twice. Just to keep on path. And to avoid VNE. Okay, we're 22 and a bit nautical miles from landing, so we'll just keep an eye on the speed. We don't want it to go too far, and as we get closer, we're going to reduce anyway. That's one of the things he's trying to do. You can't take the one into the other, but he's trying to match it. He's obviously got all the correct details, so you'll get there. You'll get there. I think this is one heck of an exercise he's busy with right now. Get everything in place. There we go. Slowing down nicely. Slowing down nicely. Yeah, any speed restrictions or anything here? Nope. Nope. Alright. We're getting closer. We're at 17. I'm not gonna pull flaps now. Hello, John. Yeah, we're still working on it. You'll have to watch the whole story, the beginning of the video and so on. So Twkster asked me to do a specific test for him, which we've now done. I've also incorporated other tests for other users just to make sure we all understand each other and we're on the same page. So yeah, this has been actually a very, very nice flight. I think I've accomplished much, and I hope that I haven't been too boring. That the guys actually enjoyed listening and watching. Right, we're gonna let it go before we get closer. What's the ice and the stuff doing? No, no ice. Alright, let's get an update on the weather. Wow. 10 gusting 16. We'll add a little bit of speed to VREF there. And it's only 3 degrees, so it's cold. Right, so when I look at the winds, and the rule says half the headwind component plus the gust factor, we've got 9 knots coming from the front, and we've got gusts of 16. So it's half. So that would be, what's that? 4.5 plus 8. We're going to make it 12. This is rain. I don't see snow here. There's the runway. Right, so let's pull our flaps. Now I'm going to start pulling the speed brake because we really need to slow down, and if that is not good enough, we are actually going to use our wheels. Let's get the gear down there. Nico was sleeping. Nico was not prepared for this. It's too fast on me. This is interesting. That's 5, that's 10, that's 15. the one thing that still needs to be looked at is the roll. I'm gonna do something
Approaching.
quickly.
1-4.
I'm gonna do something quickly. Roll. I'm just gonna mess around with this thing a little bit. Right.
400.
Now I came in a little bit too late. And speed brake needs to be armed, not extended. Haha. Hello, Jacob. Alright, I think that's my attitude is better now.
300. Minimums.
Ah.
200.
Okay, just got stuck.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That was a recovery and a half day. Fly sim probably not, no, because I did this flight. I'm probably not going to do a stream later. If family time doesn't happen the way we planned it, then I might consider it, yes. But at this point in time, no flights planned for now. No, Mert. I've got it, but I don't fly it at all. I've done one circuit in it, in all the months I've owned it, because I bought it when it came out. I've done one circuit in the Cessna 170. That's it. No thoughts on the flare, because I tell you what happened was I was concentrating too much, or not concentrating too much, not enough. So what happened was I was first low, then I was high, and then I had to recover myself. So I was in a position where I didn't really do a smooth approach and a proper approach. I'll have to do more practice and then landing with it. What I did find is that the elevator was not as, twitchy as before. I increased my roll a little bit on the sensitivity side so that, we augmented that a little bit. So that was nicer for me to have a better control on the roll. But again, that's not really how it should be. So I've got a couple of things I need to go and discuss with them. And then we can worry about the flare again. At this point in time, all I can say is it was fun. That's it. That is it. All right, let's start this one. I don't know how many years ago last I was at this airport, I must be honest with you. This is an airport I hardly ever fly to. I think the last time I came here was with a Kodiak. Thank you, Neil. Okay, fly sim. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me. I think in terms of VNAV, I don't see a problem. I think it's the way you handle it. That's basically the end result, you know, or the end game is if you handle it properly, pull the speed brake once or twice, stay on path, check the speed, and you're okay. No worries, John. Yeah, I'm happy. I don't see a problem there, but there's a couple of things we need to discuss behind the scenes, right?
Approaching 02.
That's 02. That runway is 378 meters. It's 1,239 foot long. It's like a small mustache, you know, it's just like a little worm. No, Jacob, until I speak with Tim, I can't say anything. Tim needs to have a nice chat with me first and me with him, and then we might have to do some more testing, you know, because yeah, still need to discuss a couple of things, man. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. I'm not familiar with the way to park in this place, and I don't think this is the right spot. I think I should have gone a little bit more further and then turn left or something, but who cares? There we go. We are here. All right. I'm just filing my flight quickly for the VA, and that's it. There we go. Okay, so you guys and girls must go enjoy yourself. We shall speak with you probably tomorrow morning then, if all goes well. Okay, I'll chat with you later. Have fun. Bye-bye.